by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition. It's free to download this month if you're a PlayStation Plus Essentials member anyway. And I've never actually played Mass Effect before. I've heard of it and I knew it, I've seen other people, how popular it become and everything like that, but I've never actually give it the time of day. I've just never fancied it. I was playing other games at the time. I've never got round to it, and now it's free. I thought I may as well give it a go, and because it's the Legendary Edition, you get 1, 2, and 3 games all combined. So it's quite a big download. It's about 100 gig, but like I said, you get 3 games. So apparently, Mass Effect 2 is the best, better than 1 or like 3, but it's one of those games where you do dialogue. When you talk to people, the things you say have an effect on, the way the game goes. And the decisions you make in game 1 carry on to game 2, and the decisions you make in game 2 carry on to game 3. So it's very, it's the continuation of the storyline's good. And like I said, I've never played it before, so I was like going in there with a fresh uh, clean opinion. I didn't have any expectations or anything about it. This is just the beginning where you get to pick the kind of class that you want. I was a bit disappointed that when it comes to changing the name, you only get to change your first name because your surname is Shepard, and everybody calls you Shepard because it's like built into the game where the character is known as Shepard. Because it would have been good if you could create your own like name and then have them say some sort of alternative, but the fact you've got to use a surname, and then you get to do like a moderate amount of customization. There's a few haircuts, eyebrows, change the color of your hair and your eyes, facial reconstruction, and you can put scars and everything on there, age the face, young or old. So there's like a certain degree. And then this is literally the first level, the first bit of action you get. You get 2 teammates to come along with you. Under the red and blue curved bar there, you can see their faces. That's their health and their, I think it's either stamina or like, it might be like, it's not magic, it's like biotech, where you can like, you basically get like your team gets different abilities depending on what kind of like powers that you give them. It's quite complicated, like for a beginner. It's not complicated, but there's a lot of information to take on, I should say, and you've got to try and sort it out. But I've decided, instead of going in with all, because you can like get decryption stuff, you could get you can get like hacking technology and stuff. So when you send in you basically got to kit out your team members for the mission ahead. So you might have somebody who's like a medic who can heal your team members on the fly for when they get damaged. And you can have like one of your team members can have like a hack or decryption kind of technology. Plus you've got all your biometrics and stuff like that. So it's quite advanced for a beginner, to take all the information on board. But I'm sure it just seems complicated, and the more you play it, the more you'll obviously get used to it. Because by the time I'm on to the second game, I'm going to have it totally sussed and I'll know what to do. But I do like how what you say determines on how people think of you. And when you're creating your soldier at the beginning, well, I pick soldier class, but when you create your guy at the beginning, it does say like a little background, like you get to choose what your background is, whether it's you're an orphan that was brought up on the streets of Earth and then you joined the military, or are you somebody whose parents were in the military and you've always been from spaceport to spaceport and you've never really settled anywhere, but enrolled in the military at 16, and it gives you like all these backstories. The one I chose is where I was living on a planet with me parents, and then some aliens came and some slavers, and they killed everybody, killed me family and friends, and then I'm on like a revenge mission to get them back, kind of thing. And you can pick like personality traits, whether you're like honorable or ruthless and stuff like that. So obviously the way you talk and what you say to people has a big impact on the game's outcome. Plus there's this element of it where you actually going to different planets, you're going to fight different alien races. You there's alien technology and stuff that you've got to try and hack and decrypt, and it's really good in that respect. If you like sci-fi, I think you'd really enjoy it as a newcomer, because you're basically just exploring planets, and you get given objectives and you're on a mission, like the big story. I don't want to go into what's happened, like in case you want to wait for yourself. I mean, there's no point, and most people watching this video has probably already played Mass Effect, so no point going on about the storyline. But yeah, so it's quite good to just jump into and to start playing. Like I said, I've only played it for a couple of hours last night. Um, and this is like the footage I'm using now is just what I was doing last night, just playing it for the first time. You see, you get a compass in the bottom corner. You can see which way north is because there's a little dot or a little point on the outside of the radar, so you know which way is north. And whenever you come across any kind of like bad guys, they'll normally pop up as a red dot on the radar, and you get like yellow dots for the objectives and stuff. So it's quite easy to navigate by just using your little radar. But you can look at a map, and you can open your map and have a look if you want to use that to like traverse around. But the environments seem like okay so far. I mean, I've only been to the one planet and I've been inside like a space station. But apart from that, I mean, it looks great. I know you do fight loads of different types of aliens, and there's different ways to beat the aliens. What I've gathered from just watching other videos on YouTube, like some alien have certain technologies where, like you're just shooting them with your bullets kind of thing. It'll have no effect. You've got to disable the shields first with the technology, and then you've got to kill them that way. But do you see how these robot sentient kind of aliens, they don't all look like that. These are just one like specific species that have been made, the robots that have been made by a different species, which were given AI, and then they turned against the creators, and now their own independent species. And I think they're called was it Geths? Geth, I think, Geths. So it's quite good. It's a bit. It reminds me of Star Trek. I mean, I'm not a fan of Star Trek, in that sense, but it just reminds us of that, where like they're wearing the bodysuits, they've got like laser weapons, they're going to either help the planet or help defend it, or solve some sort of problem that they've got. So it seems very along the line. So if you're a fan of Star Trek, you might like it a bit more. I was more of a Star Wars kid, but even that, same thing. You just go to different planets, lots of different aliens. Everyone's talking as if aliens aren't unusual. Your best friend could be an alien, and it's nothing out of the ordinary. So if you like sci-fi, I think it will appeal to you. I've only been playing it for a couple hours, like I say, and you can get through just playing by answering the questions. You can actually send your crew in. I think it's left and right on the directional pad, and it's wherever you're looking. If you press left, it'll send, like it puts a triangle marker there, so your left squad mate will run. If you tap right on the directional pad, it'll put the marker somewhere wherever you're looking, and then that guy will run. So you can, if you need to repair yourself, or I think it's called Medigel, if you take your Medigel, you can send your other guys ahead, especially if you've got like a tank member who's heavily armored, because that's another thing, you've got to upgrade your crew. and you keep getting upgrade points. So every once in a while, like every time you've had a gunfight or something like that, just make sure to upgrade your squad. Give them the right weapons, because you're always looting crates and looting stuff and finding different guns, and then you can scrap the old stuff that you don't need and turn it into Medigel. And then other times where you like say you're decrypting like a keypad, and you choose to do it like manually. But if you don't want to do it manually, you can just override it with Medigel. But it might take 4 Medigels to open for one doorway, where you might think I'll just do it manually and I'll keep me Medigels. So there's different ways to play, and I think by the looks of it, that the way you play, you can tailor your person to like you can tailor Shepherd to the way you want to play. That reminds us, you do get a chance to be a woman as well at the beginning. I just chose male, but you can be female if you want. But yeah, like I said, it's my first impressions is that it's huge. It's a massive game. It's really deep, rich in story. The graphics aren't too bad. I mean, this is the first game, so I'm sure by the third game they'll get better. And I'm sure the controls and everything and the user interface will get more streamlined, and it'll just be better. That's another thing I've just reminded myself at the beginning. I went through the options, and it says, do you want the new legendary system of leveling up where there's only 1 to 30 levels, or do you want the classic way of leveling up where it goes from level 1 to 60? So I just kept it on legendary, because I'm going to just keep it on legendary throughout all 3 titles. But if you're a fan of the first game, and you can put it on classic mode, and you'll have 60 levels to level up, so it's really up to you. But it's just a quick video, just to, like I said, my first impressions of what the game's like, and I like it actually. It makes you want to play it more. So that's it really. If you like the look of it, go and download it, because it's free to download this month, and you may as well, for free, you get 3 games. So it's well worth the time to download it, even though it is a big file. But that's it really, so yeah, enjoy. See you later.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.